Alrighty. Welcome. So I'm having difficulties here. If anybody's here already, I'm having my usual.
You've got mail.
I'm having my usual startup gremlins like I normally get. Let's see if anybody shows up. I don't know. Shoot. Hey, how's it going? I think you're the first one here. Or the first one that spoke anyway. I see Moon over there on Gun Channels. All right. Welcome from behind enemy lines to Shooting with Disabilities at Rick's Life, as I said. 1 hour show trying to talk about people who have disabilities or whatever they wish to call it amongst themselves. You don't even have to have a disability if you know, what's the word for it? A legalized one or a recognized one. But anybody, does something slightly different to make something work for they're able to shoot. That's the kind of show this is. So, hey, Rich. Hey, Black Cat, good to see you. Okay, now what's wrong with this? Now what's wrong with? Oh, okay, there we go. I said it's the old gremlins are getting me. Oh, I don't believe this thing. How can it do it to me? It does it to me every time. I keep losing my gun. I keep losing my gun channels chat. I just can't seem to keep it in one place anymore. Wish I could say about the same thing in my pants, but that's not a problem nowadays. It doesn't go anywhere. Anyway, that's totally off topic. Hey, Patriot. So, Black Cat. Who else? Okay, I am broadcasting on YouTube and simultaneously on Gun Channels. Or is it on Gun Channels and simultaneously on YouTube? I guess YouTube would technically have to get the forefront because, we're using YouTube's and Google's, and I'm only using one Gun Channels. But if it wasn't for Gun Channels, it wouldn't be on YouTube. So there we go. Hey, Sean, how's it going? I sent you a link. Hey, Squib. I sent out some links to my panel. They said they'd be here, but they're not here yet. So, of course, I'm in a little panic, as usual. But what's new? If anybody wants to join me, I put the links on Gun Channels and YouTube. If you want to join me on the panel here, we're meant to be having David here doing some of his stuff, showing us what he uses when he repairs rifles and stuff. He was a bit worried that might be going against YouTube policy, but I wasn't. I couldn't see a problem with it myself, but I don't know. But until somebody shows up, I'm afraid you just got me, guys. You just got me. I just barely made it on here. I tipped my tea all over my desk. I was not having a good day. And it hasn't been a good day all around. I go today to talk about disabilities or whatever. I go at the pharmacy today to pick up my prescriptions. And everything. I mean, I think it's 7 or 8 different types a month. So I get them all at one time. And it only normally. Hey, Wheelchair, how's it going? Good to see you.
Going all right. Sorry, I was running behind. I lost track of time there.
That's okay. Anyway, I went up to the local pharmacy to pick up my normal prescriptions. And not for the 8 with my insurance, it cost me around $40. you know. So I go there. So I go there and hand them over. I get them. They go, yes, please. That's $687. I went, do what? They said, yeah, you have no insurance. So I said, well, keep the drugs. I'll be back. Well, I got hold of up to the insurance company. I said, what are you talking about? I got no insurance. I said, I'm looking at my bank account here. You just cashed a check for $218. They go, yes, but it was late, so we canceled your policy. I said, well, give me my money back then. You know? Anyway, they're humming and hawing. I said, I need my insurance. You know, and right now, I don't know whether I got insurance or not because I got so mad at them before I lost my temper. I know you're all going to say I have rights and everything else, but sometimes, how can I put it? It's been a problem. I'm 62 now. I think I'm 62 or am I 61? I can't remember. But anyway, whatever I am, I've had the same problem my whole life. I have a bad habit of putting my foot in my mouth or, you know, putting my ass in gear before my brain's ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So before I got myself in trouble, I said, I'll call you back because I needed to calm down because I was about ready to lose it with them. So, I mean, I still have some drugs to get me through the next couple of days, but I'll get back on to them tomorrow and get it all sorted out. But I thought, oh, man, this is the kind of day I'm having. So,
Oh, mercy.
So there we go. So, anyway, that's besides that. But then again, you know, I only need it for one more month anyway, my insurance. And they're going to cancel it. They've already sent me the notice of canceling it on me anyway because I've been disabled for 2 years now, so I go on to Medicare automatically.
Right.
Yeah, you know, so they already told me they're canceling me anyway. So I've already got everything sorted out to start on the 1st of May. You know, so there we go. So I just got to get through April. I don't have any doctor's appointments for this month either. So I mean, I'm locked out there. It's just the drug thing I got to get sorted out. So, and you know, it will work out. Always does. It's always.
Oh yeah.
You know, it always does work out if I just calm down and basically, as we say in the 12-step program, you know, let go, let God. Basically, get out of my own goddamn way. You know, like I said, I let myself calm down, then get back on the phone and be nice. Amazing what happens when you're nice. You know, instead of being an ass. And I have a tendency of being an ass right off the bat.
Well, you know what they say, more flies with honey than with vinegar.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, and I, even though, and here's another thing, another one of my great 12-step slogans I use is oh hell, it made me forget what I was going to say now. On the same principle as that, you know, it'll come to me in a minute. Maybe you guys weren't meant to know some of my secrets. I don't know, you know. but you're right. It's you're right. You get more with honey than you do with vinegar. So there we go. So anyway, anybody over there on gun channels? I don't see anybody. People, I mean, I don't know. That what was it, month and a half we didn't have gun channels. It seems people deserted us over there. Everybody goes to YouTube now.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because all the work that G-Webs does to get gun channels up and running again. But it's there. So anyway, I don't know if David's going to show or not, but if he doesn't, we can carry on.
Oh yeah.
Stuff. You know, I was going to, you know, we had rain, snow. We got more snow due this weekend. I think, no, man, come on. I think this is going to be one of those years is one day it's going to be cold, then the next day it's going to be 80 degrees and it's going to stay there. You know? So there we go.
It's been pretty nice here the last few days.
Oh yeah, well you're further south than I am, so there you go. You're lucky.
Oh yeah, a lot further south.
Yeah, but I heard they're meant to be getting. I heard we might be getting snow this weekend.
Oh, I hope not.
I heard somebody on chat this morning from North Carolina, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they said they were in North Carolina. They said there was snow in the schedule for this weekend.
That's probably up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down in the flatlands. We don't see a lot of snow down here. Do get some nasty ice storms every so often, but
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know what we could. Hey, Gerard, see you're over there now, Moon. So, I was having this discussion this afternoon on the afternoon chat on Mr. Knives chat this afternoon, and I said I was going to use it on Saturday, and I might use it again on Saturday, but I thought I might. This actually is kind of relevant to the people here, you know, who have sort of arthritis in their hands or whatever. Is what I was talking about is it a slide lock or a slide release? Or, I mean, whatever you call it, do you use it to let the slide go? You know what I'm saying? And I suppose if you have arthritis, it would be easier, like when you put a magazine in, to hit that than trying to rack the thing.
well, I used to use it as a slide release, but I learned that with some guns, it will not chamber completely unless you actually pull that slide back that extra little bit to give it the momentum.
Yeah. As I was saying earlier, I normally don't use it. I never have, unless by accident. I think because when you pull it back, then let go. To me, it's like I'm forcing that button or lever, and it seems to slam forward. Well, I mean, when you pull it back and let go, it's still slamming forward at the same speed, but it just feels like it's less because I think I'm not forcing that button. You know, I'm pushing it down. You know, I don't know. Anyway, luckily with the old, I don't know if you guys can see it, with the old M&P 45 full size, that's what I still carry. Is normally, I said I got a laser gun in it right now. I don't know if it's working or not. I don't think the laser's working. No, I got to change the batteries again. I noticed when I put a magazine in it and the slide is open, you know, like that, right? And I take a full magazine and slam it in there, it automatically racks. And I thought it was something wrong with the gun, but I actually wrote to on their website to M&P and talked to a lot of people. The M&Ps, a lot of them do that, you know. So
yeah, I've heard that about the M&Ps, and well, quite a few of them actually.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to slam it that hard either on it. I mean, if I take it and push it in gently, it won't go forward. But if you just take it and go, dump, you know, hang on. Let me get it. Let me get out my laser light. Okay. I hope I don't shoot the place down. I mean, that is a fully.
Yeah, no ADs.
This is a fully loaded. Damn. Hang on a minute. There we go. So the plate is all wet where I spilled my tea. Forgot to wipe it off. There we go. But, okay, fingers off the thing because this is fully loaded here. But watch it make a liar out of me. You don't even have to slam it that hard. See, it automatically goes into, you know. But now I got to. There we go. Let me put. Now it's empty again now, guys. So I won't shoot myself while I'm on here. But see how you do that and it just automatically, automatically goes forward. So there we go.
Yeah, my Ruger doesn't do that, but I've fired other guns that do. So I don't really know if it's a design flaw or if it's supposed to do it.
You got a good point there, Grant. You can always go back to YouTube. I don't mind. Yeah. So, there we go. I mean, I will use it occasionally, this thing, but not very often. But anyway, that was just a question I had. How people, what do they do with their, I mean, if you're having trouble, I guess that, somebody did make a good point is, though, if you're going to use it, don't do it like it's empty right now. Don't even, put it back and let go of it when it's empty like that, because metal's hitting on metal. I mean, it's got to do some damage over time, surely. So,
yeah.
That release and that slams forward, it's got to be doing damage, metal hitting metal. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would, say so.
Yeah, when I'm empty, I don't do that.
Yes, Grant. I spilled tea. I don't know if you heard me. I don't know if it was on this show last week or it was on Saturday's show. Believe it or not, I do not drink coffee at home. I drink tea.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I drink pots and pots of it. This is about my this is about my 6th cup today. I drink it like other people drink coffee. Now, like when I go out to my, I didn't go out to breakfast this morning. I was having trouble moving around this morning, so I didn't go out for breakfast. So I made breakfast indoors. So, but when I go out for breakfast, I'll drink coffee. And they think that, problem is, I never have an empty cup when I'm sitting there at the table. They keep it full the whole time. So I could drink 3 or 4 cups while I'm eating breakfast,
I typically drink 4 to 8 cups of coffee in the mornings. And I could drink it all day, but I figure it's probably not good for me to drink it all day.
Yeah, I know as a lot of people, I know as people get older, they drink less caffeinated stuff as the afternoon and evening wear on. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know.
I could drink coffee and go to bed and sleep like a baby. It doesn't affect me like that.
What's it? I think it should say one way or the other in the manual. My PX4 is okay to use it as a slide release. Maybe I need to read my manual. I don't think I got that far.
Read a manual? What? That's like reading the instructions before you put furniture together. Why would you do that?
Oh, Rick has said, I spilled tea like 4 times now. I'm starting to think you peed his pants. He's peed his pants and just trying to cover up for it. Yeah, I'm not that senile yet. But yeah, it's a good, yeah. I do seem to spill it a lot. That's because, right? Instead of using just a sort of like I'm trying to use a fancy coaster. See, that has a lip on it, and sometimes I'll put it down. I'm trying to keep my eye on the screen or whatever, and I'll put it on the edge. It should tip. See, that's my excuse.
How long?
So I got to look at it, stick it right in the center.
Your device is connected.
That's my excuse.
Excuse is a good excuse.
I thought it was a good excuse. So there we go. Anyway, so what? Oh, damn it! I lost my. Every time I do this, I lose my my gun channels chat. I don't know what happens. It just disappears, and I have to go in and get it back again. It only takes a second, but there we go. See, I'm back already. God damn, I gotta go pee now. That's from Grand on gun channels there. Oh yeah. So what's new with you, wheelchair?
Oh, I've got my daughter week, and we've just been mostly either tomorrow or the next day. She loves shooting that 40 or that millimeter, and we're week.
No, you broke up on me there. Didn't hear a word of that last part.
Said we're going to be hitting the range either tomorrow or the next. We're shooting the millimeter, and then not sure what we're going to do the rest of the week, but no matter what we do, it's going to be fun. I enjoy having her down here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's getting to the point now. I'm thinking, I'm going to drive down. Hopefully, I'm going to get up my ass my ass up in the morning. We'll have breakfast. I either do it breakfast first, or I'm going to go down the range to see. I think I have breakfast first, then go down the range in case I decide I want to shoot when I'm down there. They have one, as I told you once before, they have one covered pistol range where where you can stand and shoot and it's covered. But the actual get out on the range, put targets up. Last time I was down there was on a 2 foot of water. It sits in a bowl, and they haven't got a drainage system in there. I want to see if emptied out. They were going to try to go in there with from the back side of it with a thing and try to dig out a trench for it or whatever for the water runoff.
Okay, yeah. Use a backhoe.
Yeah. So I'm going to see if they've done that and see if it's usable, because I'm getting antsy. I haven't shot my gun in 2 months. Yeah. I mean, I've done a lot of dry fire practice, but actual firing thing, I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, that's me. I'm dying to get out there, and I asked her earlier today. I said, "Do you know any range and do some shooting this week?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, who is it?" She said, "Me."
Oh, well, got people here in the chats asking.
So I'm looking forward to that. She loves shooting that.
Good. I got people here in the chat asking the story behind your avatar.
And she's good.
You with me, or we lost you? We might have lost wheelchair there.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay. No, people are in the chat are asking.
Yeah, she.
Go on.
Oh, I was just saying she's a real good shot. She picked it up like she had been shooting.
Yeah. All right. Now back to what I was saying. People in the chat are asking about your avatar, your picture. They want to know the story behind that wheelchair.
Here's track trip a year or two ago, and fell in love with the thing. And I ran across.
You're breaking up on us, wheelchair. You're starting to what's the word for it?
Okay, is this better?
Yes.
Okay. I was using a Bluetooth.
I used one of those track chairs to go hunting several years ago and fell in love with the thing. And I was online just looking for different possibilities to use for an avatar, getting ideas. And I ran across that picture and I said, that's perfect. Somebody else had a picture made in one of those chairs, and he's got a beard like me and he's fat like me, and I figured, well, that was close enough to me. And they had done the um, Photoshop to add the guns and stuff, and I was like, well, that's perfect for a wheelchair warrior.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's how the avatar came to be.
Okay. We'd love to have them guns on a wheelchair.
Oh yeah, that man, tell me about it. Can you imagine? Nobody'd ever give me grief.
When people are still researching the slide stuff. I'm getting feedback on your screen there now. I can hear myself. It says the manual for the USP specifically states that it is a slide release, not a slide stop. There you go.
All righty.
So I mean that could be a debate that go on and on. That's why it's for 9mm 5 ACP. Which one's the best?
A lot of times, depending on how the slide release, slide stop, whatever is built, it can be kind of hard to just thumb it off.
It's hard on the MSP to release it.
And yeah, so a lot of times it's easier to just overhand the slide and pull it back than it would be to hit that. Because, I mean, unless you've got a specially designed one, or, like some of the CZs have larger releases on them that you can just hit with your thumb. But like the one on my Ruger, it's just a little bitty thing, and it's hard to push it down when the slide's fully back.
Yeah, I just muted you for a second. Okay, let me get. All right. Are you back on again, or have I still got you muted?
I'm here.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. We're getting back to you.
I don't know where the back feed's coming from because I'm just using my mobile.
Yeah. Every time I'm talking, I can hear myself. So can everybody else. That's what they're telling me anyway.
Yeah, I've just got the one device running.
The echo's coming from me. How's it coming from me? Impossible. Yeah, I know there's only when I talk, but I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it from wheelchairs. Thing. Mute yourself for a second there, wheelchair.
Say again?
Mute yourself for a second.
All right.
Okay. Am I getting an echo? Are you getting an echo now, guys? No. So, yeah. Somehow it's feeding back off of yours there somehow. He's muted now, so I don't hear the echo. Okay, come back.
How about now?
I don't know. Can you? Now, see, I can still hear it. Hey, we'll live with it.
Well, let me hang up and then I'll come back on.
Okay.
See if that fixes it.
All right, he's just doing his thing there. Oh man, I lost my gun channels again. Can you believe this crap?
You got mail.
Every time I sort of touch the page, it goes away. But there it is, back again. So, there we go. I have to have headphones. I got headphones. I don't like headphones.
All right, how about now?
I don't know. Can you hear me? Well, that sounds all right to me now. You getting the echo,
Okay.
guys, out there? I don't hear it anymore.
Okay, it must have been something to do with my connection.
Yeah, they're over here telling me that I need to use my headphones and all that good stuff. But, you know, I don't like using the headphones. So.
Yeah, I want to get a set of those headphones that have the mic on them.
Oh, I got a set here that has a mic on it right here, and it's Bluetooth. I normally don't use the mic, but I'll use these, and like when my back's really hurting and stuff, I'll go lay on the bed with these on and listen to the chat. You know, because I can pick up maybe 40, 50, I don't know, 40, 50 feet away from the computer with them.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah. Then I have a regular set of earphones. But see, then I have to go in there and adjust my sound thing for it to go through the earphones for me. Because if I put them on now, I don't hear anything. I got to go in and make some adjustments, and it's just too much aggravation. You know what I'm saying? Let me try.
Yeah,
it.
I'm waiting on a set of their Bluetooth hearing protection, and you can also do calls and listen to.
Oh, I saw some of that the other day. I was watching something on YouTube. Was it YouTube or Reddit in a magazine somewhere? Oh yeah, they look kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm waiting on those to come in. I had jumped into one of those Kickstarters and picked up a pair for, I think it was $172, and I should be getting them sometime this month.
Oh, that's cool.
And they also enhance your hearing by blocking out background noise and stuff, which will help me a lot because with my hearing loss, that'll help me to be able to understand people, because it'll amplify the people's voices, but it'll block out the background noise.
Okay. Hey, David.
Hey, what are you fellas up to? Sorry I'm late. My phone was not charging. We turned the switch off to the plug, and my phone was completely dead.
Okay, no problem. That's no problem. So, I mean, do you want to show some of your stuff today, or do you want to leave it for next week?
I can do it.
All right. So these are some of the stuff you use for what? Repairing the rifles or fixing them or whatever it is?
What I do is I use all of these. I'll show you here in just a second. Let's see here.
Now, are these just normal jigs, or are they modified for you can see them better?
Well, they're pretty easy to see. Let's see. Did I just change? There we go. Okay. These are just like, these right here are vice blocks for upper receivers. This would be for your 5.56 what they consider the small receiver. This is for your AR-10, LR-308, which they consider the large receiver.
We ain't seen what we're seeing as you.
Basically, it holds the upper receiver so that you can lock it in a vise.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we can't see them. We always see your face.
Oh, hold on. It jumped back. Hold on.
Okay.
Now can you see them?
Yep.
Yep.
And basically what these do is they let you lock this down in a vise so that you can get the receiver straight and level in the vise because it's got a lip on it right there.
Yeah.
And basically it lets you set it through. This right here is for an AR-10 or an SR-25 LR-308 type rifle. This here is for your AR-10 rifle. These are vice blocks that you lock the lower receivers into the vise with. This is for AR-10 on one side, LR-308 on the other.
We've lost it again. Now we're seeing your avatar.
This is giving me a problem.
See you later, Black Cat.
Was that RL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, are you seeing it yet?
Yep.
No, well, no,
You see-
well, it's frozen.
Okay, what's it doing now?
Right now, it's a frozen picture of your jigs there.
Is it moving?
Nope.
Hey, let me pop out real quick and then reboot my phone.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. You ain't the only one having problems tonight, I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. I had some too.
All right. Well, I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It's been a rough evening for getting things going right. Maybe God's trying to tell us something, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these mobile devices not wanting to do right.
Yeah. Oh, well. That's okay. So, anyway, aren't a lot of people leaving for Tulsa? Is it Tulsa this weekend?
I'm not sure what the dates are on that.
Yeah. I got a feeling it is. I think some people will be leaving today and tomorrow to get to Tulsa. I think it's this weekend. I could be totally wrong. But I would have liked to have gone, but right now, the way I could be, if my hip wasn't so painful to walk on, I'd have been okay. But otherwise, I would have had to try to find a wheelchair or a scooter once I got there and stuff like that. It just, then if I get a hotel or a motel, I'm going to make sure I'm on the ground floor and this kind of stuff, It just makes
Yeah.
it tough.
Yeah,
Hey, Fee, how's it going?
it's hard to travel when you're dealing with disabilities. I know I have a hard time finding real wheelchair accessible rooms.
Yeah, I saw your
A lot of
video
hotels.
the other day.
Say again?
I saw your video the other day.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it amazes me the places that they'll have the handicap ramp blocked, or they'll have a quote wheelchair accessible bathroom that isn't hardly big enough for a person to be able to stand up and turn around in, but because they have handrails, then they make that's to them wheelchair accessible.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about because they have the road to think, oh, okay. Yeah, but I mean, if you can stand, it's okay with those things. But if you have to get your wheelchair to actually get in the door to, this kind of stuff, it can make life tough.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of hotel rooms are the same way. There's a whole bunch of pictures online that you can look through where they show handicap exit down the stairs.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now I'm going to roll my wheelchair down those stairs to get to the exit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
or a handicap ramp that ends in 2 stairs, or a telephone pole in the middle of a handicap ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Another thing
and
I've
I
noticed
know
since
the
I've had the scooter, and you must since you've been in a wheelchair, is like even going along on the sidewalk. Today, when they make sidewalks, when it comes to the end of the street, they normally put a slope in there.
Yep.
But you come along the old sidewalks, there ain't any. You got to figure out how you're going to get down that, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and it can be pretty interesting. And the chair I have now is designed to where I can go off of up to a 6-inch curb without tipping over.
Well, that's good.
But going up one is impossible.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we got your back, David.
Yeah, let's see if this will work a little better this time.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what was going on there.
Now, I had to go out and come back in because I was creating an echo for everybody. So,
all right, we got a picture moving here now there, David.
Okay. Basically, these are the upper receiver blocks that I use.
Okay.
For 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, the bigger rounds. This is for AR-15s. This is for 308s as well, and the big what we call the big framed rifle or the big receiver rifle. This is for the AR-15 and the small receiver rifle. And then basically these are called reaction rods. They're made by the Geisleys, and these are used you can use them for putting barrels on, even though I don't recommend going over 50 foot-pounds of torque with them because they go up inside the barrel extension. And those are both, one of these is for 308 or the large pattern rifle, and this is for the smaller pattern AR-15 style. And then just basically a little bit of trick. Running cables like a string, like you would use here, as you see, as a plumb line for doing scopes. I'm doing the same thing, running it across from one wall to the other wall, getting it perfectly straight and over my vise so that when I lock a receiver down, I get a line that goes all the way across so that I know when I've got a stock extension tube, a receiver extension tube, buffer tube that's running straight. I know a barrel is going to be laying right in there, is going to be running straight because I can take it and then I can cheat it with with basically a speed square and see if the barrel is square to the line that it should square with the receiver. Little baby tricks like that you can use, to make sure that everything is lining up correctly, because I don't see in 3-dimension. I only see in 2-dimension.
Yeah.
So basically, it's very hard for me to be able to judge distance, and you have to have an eye to look at something, and then the other eye kind of reads the detail. So with one eye, I have a hard time picking up detail in like where it's in 3-dimension. So I have to make sure everything I do and check is in 2-dimension. And certain people will look at a rifle and not tell something is off with the barrel, where I can tell exactly as soon as I pick it up because I see in 2-dimension, so that I look at the receiver and I can tell immediately the barrel is off just by the way it looks to me. It'll look a little goofy in my vision that I actually am able to describe. It's kind of hard for me to describe it, but I check everything with a line to double check, but I sometimes can just see it. From like 10 feet away, I'll tell something's not right with that barrel. and it might only be a tenth of a thousandth of an inch off, but I can tell it just because it doesn't look right.
Have you ever tried using laser level?
Yeah, I have, but the problem with the laser level is you have to find a point of reference on the walls as well as on the rifle. So
Oh, okay.
you can't see a laser unless you use smoke.
Okay.
And basically, if you're using smoke, you're going to put smoke in your house. But the
Okay,
way these work, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Is these will go in the vise, locked down right in here on the jaws, and then it goes up inside the receiver. And then these are the lugs that lock into your barrel extension lugs. And that's what restricts the movement of the receiver on the actual Geisley reaction rod. So that's how those actually work. Problem is, you go up over 50 pounds of torque. I've seen people shear off the alignment pins in the barrel extensions.
Ooh.
And cause you a whole other set of problems.
Yeah, that would be a mess to try to fix.
Yeah, you're pretty much buying a new barrel extension at that point and redoing it. And then hopefully you get a couple of them and make sure you get the head spacing correctly with the torque. Okay, guys, you know what I did?
What?
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see me? Like, is my head chopped off?
Yeah, we see it from the top of your bill of your hat up.
We can see yeah, I can see your nose, your eye patch.
And now we got chin.
There we go.
Okay,
Yep,
so we got the whole thing.
Yeah, you're good there. You're good there.
Yeah, I bought one of those little phone holders that you told me about.
Oh, okay.
You know, the little ones that'll hold it steady.
Yeah.
Somebody was complaining last time that they were getting seasick because I was holding the phone.
Yeah. So, do you do, by the looks of that workshop of yours, I mean, is that, you do that work on stuff like that full time?
I used to do it full time. I just basically now, because of my vision, the way it is, I do a lot of volunteer work. I do our police departments, their patrol rifles. Sometimes I'll do some work for the police officers. Basically just a donation because, you know, they're out there serving and protecting and they don't make a whole heck of a lot of money. So I like to help out when I can. And sometimes the fellas don't know how to clean their rifles. So they'll bring them by and I'll show them how and make sure that it's clean and ready to go. And I used to work at what they call an SO 07 manufacturing shop. And I used to manufacture AR-15s for a living. And I used to build these rifles back in 1984 with my dad, all the way through until current day, minus a few years for, you know, being out of it doing other things. But basically, you know, a lot of research, a lot of learning, a lot of firsthand research from my father. He used to drive the Air Force colonel that was interested in purchasing the first round of, at that time, XM-E115s, experimental model Evolution 1 series rifles, and for the Air Force. And basically he was driving the colonel around, and I want to say LeMay, but I might be incorrect on that. I've heard the story a bunch of times when my dad was still alive. But before he went to Vietnam as a loadmaster on a C-130 Hercules, he was a driver and used to drive one of the colonels around. And just so happens he was the guy that was interested in purchasing the M16 from Eugene Stoner.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Well, I appreciate you showing us that stuff to us, and it's I'm amazed that with your eyesight that you can still do all that stuff.
Yeah, it takes me longer. I mean, before, you could look at it, putting a gas block on it take you 10 minutes because, you've done it so many times. Nowadays, when you got to find the dead center spot of for the gas block, it's basically, you got to set it up to where where the top dead center is by running a line across the side of the Picatinny rail on the flat top of the receiver, and you can see the distance with two lines going down the top of the receiver. You can see right dead middle of that is dead center on the barrel. So basically, then you find your dead center. You tighten up one of the set screws on the bottom of the gas block, and then use the other one as a guide hole to drill it out for a dimple. So that when you lock that set screw down with a little blue Loctite in there, it's not going to move. Or if you want to use red or a rock set, for permanent, if you're not going to be changing the barrel out anytime soon and you want it to lock up in there, that's the best way to do it.
Okay. I think you pronounce it Grand or whatever. It says, nice shop, David. And Squib on the other side says General Curtis LeMay.
Okay, yeah.
For the adoption of the M16.
Yep. That was who he drove around.
Okay.
He did that for the complete development of the first part of the M16, the XM-E1. And basically, they dropped the XM when they released it to the Air Force. And that had the looked like the plastic on the rifles were like a green, almost like a forest type green, but a little bit lighter. And those were the first batch that they were slick side, no shell deflector, chrome plated bolt carrier. The front takedown pin was not retained. It was pretty much a smooth side rifle, and except for it did have a ejection port door. And basically, they fell in love with it. And the original story, as my dad told it, was they were at a picnic, and it was LeMay, Colonel LeMay's family, and Eugene Stoner. And basically, Eugene had two of his experimental rifles in the trunk of his car, and they were at a picnic out in the countryside. And my dad and another couple of sergeants were with him, and they were asking to shoot the rifle. So they had set up watermelons out at about 100 yards, and they started shooting at them. And basically, the watermelons, when they were hit, they exploded like they were hit with a damn 50 caliber. And the guys couldn't believe that a little 22 caliber bullet was giving that much damage to, a pretty dense. When you think about a watermelon, it's a lot of water, and the actual consistency is somewhat like tissue in a way. And basically, the way it was just exploding the watermelons, and that was when they were running the 1 in 14 rifling. So for every 14 inches, it would do one 360 degree rotation inside the barrel. And basically, it was just enough to stabilize a 55 grain boat tail bullet, the M193 later designated, to cause good damage, but it was never intended to kill the enemy combatants. That's why they went, one of the reasons why they went with the lighter cartridge and smaller cartridge. With the M1 Garand and the M14 that they were using still in Vietnam in the beginning times, they found out that when you shot someone with a 30 caliber full battle rifle cartridge, they pretty much died within a couple of minutes, if not instantaneously. So they wanted a round that would incapacitate an enemy combatant without killing him, because they considered the rifle a force multiplier. And what I mean by that is when you shoot an enemy combatant and he gets wounded, you don't just walk by him with you're another enemy combatant. He's screaming, he needs help. You get him off the field, and it may take one, it may take two people to get that one wounded man off the field. And as soon as he does, then you've got medical cost where surgeons and doctors, and you've got medical supplies. So basically it battles you on multiple fronts. It's going to wear out your military as far as demoralizing, seeing all these wounded men being taken off the battlefield. It's also going to hurt your pocketbook when you've got to be giving medical attention to these people instead of just eventually getting them collected and ready for burial. And that's what the Vietnam War started that we weren't used to in World War II and Korea and stuff like that because of the bigger battle cartridges they used. And nowadays with the anti-gunners, they're preaching that, you know, that the AR-15 is this much more deadlier bullet. And anybody with any kind of sense realizes, well, you know, there's hunting rifles that do 20 to 30 times more energy. And, you know, so that's just, you know, more media hoopla. But the rifle was designed to do exactly what it does. And had he been using a 30-06, even a bolt action rifle that day to shoot those kids that day in that school here in Florida, there would have been a higher fatality count. You wouldn't have had as many kids wounded and taken to the hospital and able to be saved. I mean, yes, that's a horrible thing to be wounded at 16, 15 years old and permanently disabled by a nut job. But the bottom line is you get to go home to your parents because that rifle was never intended to kill you. And that's what they don't ever understand, and they never, you know, talk about, you know, as far as, and the other thing they like to keep bragging about is how these are weapons of the military style weapons. Nobody needs these. Well, if you go back to every single weapon that has ever been created, it was created for war. It was created for either a backup handgun, revolver, or automatic, or it was dedicated for hunting people. And so that just throws their entire argument out the window. I mean, yeah, that's what they're designed to do. You know, that's what every rifle, even your bolt action rifles, if you look back at the Springfield 1903 in a bolt action rifle, it's got a Mauser K98 copied action and a trigger from the Mauser. And basically, if you look at the K98, that rifle was developed in 1898. So these rifles are literally antiques, and yet they still make rifles today for hunting and for sport action shooting and for snipers in the military, and, you know, people that, you know, wish to have weapons like that. And those are all based off rifles that were designed over 100 years ago. And people are, you know, just kind of stupid to that fact that, you know, these rifles have been available to the general public since 1967, I believe. So it's like they just all of a sudden sprung up. This is not exactly true.
Yeah. Actually, old Squib over here on the YouTube chat is practically typing everything you're saying. He's typing it out for other people to read.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. He also said, hang on, let's go back. Because you were talking about, where was it? The Chrome. Secretary of Defense McNamara, how you pronounce his name, took the Chrome out, but it was later brought back. So there you go. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Actually, good history lesson you're giving me there. You know, I said, I be honest, as old as I am, I said, you know, I spent most of my life living in England. So I've only been into guns for the last couple of years. So
there's nothing wrong with you.
That's why I like listening to you guys, you know?
Yeah. Well, been to Manchester a couple times. Back in the late 80s, I believe it was. Beautiful countryside.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. No. Oh no, sorry. I misquoted Squib. He said, "No, I'm saying half of what he's saying is bullshit." There you go. What you're saying is bullshit. I'm not sure, but there you go. You know.
Oh, it's bullshit.
Yeah, I think maybe some of your. I'm not exactly sure, but that's Squib for you. He tells it out how it is.
Well, he likes to give
I
people
don't
grief.
exactly know what he was referring to as bullshit.
Nah. Oh well.
Squib likes
What
to mess with
is
you.
he saying exactly what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What part of what I'm saying? Because I'm interested. If I'm wrong about something, I'd like to hear about it.
There you go, Squib. Here's your chance. What did he say? What did he say was wrong in his story about the M16 or the AR-15 as we know it? I'm assuming that's what he was going on about. Or he was going on about your
The K98.
You know, I'm not sure. He hasn't said anything. He hasn't typed anything in yet.
Well, there's a delay.
Yeah. So there we go. I lost my gun channels again. I tell you, every time I click on that screen, I lose it. What's called comes up next, right? Clover. Oh, he should have started a few minutes ago, but so
I haven't seen a notice for him yet.
no, I haven't either. I know it comes up in the corner of my screen here. So I don't know. Squib hasn't come back with us anything yet, but we're almost running out of time here.
Yeah.
Matt is on. Why is Matt on now? It's Squib's. It's Clover's turn.
Maybe he's filling in for Clover.
Oh, basically, he said Squib's going basically the whole inventing the rifle, the wound people thing.
No, you're actually wrong. The weapon system was developed to create a stopping wound that would immobilize the enemy soldier at a distance of 300 meters. And basically, that's why he designed it first with the 222 Fireball cartridge. And then the general, hold on, the general, what is it, McNamara?
Yeah.
Yes, General McNamara said, okay, now it's got to pierce a steel helmet at 300 meters. So Eugene went back to the drawing board and came up with the 223 Remington cartridge and picked that cartridge instead. Now that cartridge over the next 7 years was modified to the 5.56 NATO cartridge, which the difference between the NATO cartridge and the 223 Remington, the NATO is a higher pressure cartridge. It's got a crimped primer pocket, and it is also treated with like a polyurethane type sealant around the bullet where it is crimped into the neck of the cartridge, and the primer pocket is coated with a polyurethane sealant so that if the ammunition is submerged, it will not get it wet.
And he also said, hang on here, about also what else he disagreed with you on was with the 30-06 being more casualties. And there was a 30-06 Springfield used.
Okay, have you ever shot a 30-06 into an animal versus shooting a pig with a 5.56 cartridge? I can take my fist and put it through the hole from the 30-06. There is a small entrance wound on the 5.56 round in a pig and about a quarter size exit hole. When a 30-06 hits an animal, such as a pig, it will put a thumb-size hole directly through it, immediately expanding, causing extreme cavitation and and permanent wound channel and temporary wound channel that actually will get up to 12 inches in diameter inside the pig. That is a day and night difference between a 5.56 that is only 0.223 thousandths of an inch. I mean, come on, you're talking a 7.62 bullet that's weighing in at 165 to 145 grains. That there's no way that can be even in the same ballpark. That's like comparing apples to oranges. Yeah, they're both fruit, and that's about as far as it gets.
Then he goes, I prefer the 30-06 Springfield over the 5.56 times 45 NATO. You know,
okay.
Yeah.
I've shot the 30-06 and the 308 and so on, and yeah, they pack a much bigger punch. I mean, you're looking to kill something. That's what you want to use.
Yeah. Then he goes, did you ever carry one in the military?
Did I carry a 306?
I don't know what he's actually whether the 306 or the M16. I'm not sure what he's on about. He said, "Did you ever get?" But then he goes, "All I'm saying is, if we're going to combat the anti-gunners, let's use the truth and not the made-up guns and ammo article bullshit."
I don't read Guns and Ammo magazine.
I actually enjoyed that history lesson because, I mean, that told me a lot. I had no idea that that's the way they come up with the idea for the 223, and it makes a lot of sense.
You're right there. You're right there, Squib. No anti-gunners watching me anyway.
No worries, Squib. I mean, I'm talking from experience that I've got from a firsthand knowledge from Eugene Stoner. I've got over 1,300 pages of his personal diary from 1957 to 1961. And basically that was during the development time of the AR-10 rifle platform. And I got that because my father had gotten some of his personal material and autographed from him before he had gone over to Vietnam to be a loadmaster on a C-130. And basically, when he came back, he's got that, and I will be having that soon on the show here as soon as I can get to Orlando. I don't drive a vehicle anymore. So as soon as I can get to Orlando and get into a storage locker, I'll go ahead and bring that out and show you guys some quotes and stuff.
Oh, man, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Yeah. I appreciate you showing the stuff to us tonight and a little history lesson. I said, it's stuff I never knew. As I said, I've only been into guns a couple of years, and mainly I'm into handguns. I mean, the only I've only got a 22. I got an M&P 15 22.
Yeah, that's a good rifle.
15, but it's a great little 22 rifle. I tell you,
Hey, have you tried those Bad Dog 50-round mags? For those a little drunk. Do you have a mag restriction level?
Yeah. Well, no, not in Rhode Island, not yet.
Okay, you might want to check out on Brunel's. They're called Bad Dog magazines, and they hold 50 22 caliber rounds. Here, let me show you one. Oh, here, I got them in my mag bag. Oh. See, these are what they are.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. See, they do. They're the size of one of the 25-round mags. And basically, you've got back here a load gate. You see how that goes?
Okay, yeah.
And basically, you push that over, and then you just put the round right there, and let it go, and then push it back over, and then it'll ratchet because the way it loads, it's on a mechanical ratcheting system. You go over, put it in, let it back, go back over, and it'll continue to move as it loads up.
Oh, cool. I'll check.
Yeah.
I'll get one of those. Yeah, right now there's no restriction here in Rhode Island. not saying there might not be later on, but right now there's not.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to take it out of state there because there's a restriction in Connecticut and Massachusetts, I believe. But I can have it here in Rhode Island.
Yeah. But that's all right. You move down here to North Carolina, you can shoot anything you want.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm going to say thanks to everybody for being on here. Clover Tech has started. Got the little notification in the corner here. So I want to say thank you, David. I really appreciate it. That was great. And when I said if you get down to Orlando and get that stuff, we'll definitely have it on the show here. I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And when you tell Squib, hey man, I wasn't trying to beat you up or anything. Everybody's welcome to their opinion and what they want to think, and that's fine and dandy. I just I have a lot of information that I've gotten over the years from family and gunsmiths that I've worked with. And basically, I pretty much know a little bit about it, but I can always learn more. That's why I was very open to offering you a chance to speak your mind, what you were talking about. Because if I've got something completely wrong, then I want to know where the information is that you can back that up with so that I can be corrected and whatnot. But for as far as I can tell over the years, everything I say is gospel on that kind of stuff. And I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Yeah,
because I'm not going to get.
He said he wasn't trying to beat you up either. He said he wasn't trying to beat you up either. He was just, doing his thing just like you were.
Yes, sir. Not a problem.
Okay.
Very much. And thank you very much, Squib, for checking me, because that is a good thing to do. Always check what people are telling you, because somebody could be pissing on your boot and telling you it's raining.
You're absolutely right there. Okay, I'm going to let you go because Clover's on now.
Okay.
And I would appreciate it. And thank you, David, and thank you, Wheelchair. And we'll see you
guys have a good evening.
All right.